You are listening to the Icehouse Podcast, hosting conversations with gritty Kiwi business owners and leaders and industry-leading minds.
Kia ora everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Icehouse Podcast. This conversation is with Kim Herewini. She is the marketing manager at Likeable Lab. I recorded this conversation in Hamilton before delivering an alumni event locally there. It was so cool to talk to Kim about her career journey. She started her career in PR before making the very bold decision to follow her dreams of being a professional hockey player for New Zealand. She did a bit of travel, she played for New Zealand. The dream came to life with a lot of hard mahi. Then the transition began from elite sport back into agency, marketing, a different industry. And we talked about that transition. What were the learnings that she could take from elite sport into her new career? This was a really interesting conversation. And then we unpacked her recent transition of becoming a mother and leading within an organisation through motherhood. She unpacks her learnings, what has supported her along those journeys, and what excites her about the future of Likeable Lab and her career. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did.
Thank you for being on the podcast. We like to start with an open question. Tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Kim and what are you passionate about?
Yeah, cool. No, awesome to be here and on the podcast. I'm Kim Herewini. I'm the marketing manager at Likeable Lab. I am 31 years of age. Lack of memory already. I'm born and bred in Hamilton and live here at the moment with my husband, my 10-month-old little bub, and my two furry toddlers, I refer them to, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yeah.
Cool, I love it. I want to chat about your career journey, and there'll be heaps of things that we talk about on this podcast, but for context for those listening, what has your career journey looked like that has then led to your role as marketing manager at Likeable Lab?
Yeah, sure. It's nearly like a long-winded answer in a way.
I love it. We're ready.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
So basically, once I'd finished university here at Waikato University doing a communications degree, I decided it was time for some change, better get out of the city at some point. So I moved up to Auckland, didn't have any jobs lined up, just kind of went on a whim, was like, I've got confidence here, surely I'll find something. And a couple of weeks went by, I was like, oh, Mum, Dad, I don't know about this. But ended up landing a really cool opportunity, and it's kind of funny how I got it, now that I'm thinking about it.
Love the story behind
I saw an ad on Trade, post on Trade Me for a job, but a company called Metro EXP, and I was like, it's in PR, event management. I was like, awesome, this is exactly what I need. And my dad always said, it's really good, when you take your CV in person and you meet them, you give them a handshake, but eye contact, make it a bit more personal. So I was like, I'm going to do this, like I really need this job. Yeah. I need to make the most of it. And I remember going along and, sweaty palms, real nervous, and knocked on the door, and the owner at the time, Ant, came to the door, and I was kind of like, I'm here just because I saw a job advert and I'd like to drop off my CV if that's okay. And little did I know that he was actually in an interview with someone else. And I knocked on the door, mortified, and I just saw someone sitting there and went, oh no, awesome. And I just kind of thought, oh yeah, cool, I'll leave it with him. And he said, oh yeah, that's cool, I'll have a look and have a read and I'll get back in touch. I was like, that's cool. And so I was like, I might hang around anyway. So pondered off, head down, like, what have I done? Great start.
Did you knew what you had done, like, in that moment?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you
when you get eye contact with that other person, you're like, oh no, I'm so sorry. And then thankfully he actually called me not long after, and he said, had a quick look at the CV and really keen to catch up and learn a bit more about you. And thankfully my interview went well and I got offered the job.
Amazing.
Good result after a terrifying start. And worked there for maybe just under a year. And learnt a range of skills. His wife, Sarah Hassett, incredible lady. She also was doing PR for the All Blacks at the time.
Wow.
And I learned a lot off her. But with that as well came a lot of opportunities. So we were doing things like the McDonald's franchisee conferences. We were doing PR for Disney Channel, New Zealand and Australia.
Wow.
Some really kind of
big projects.
Yeah, big projects. And you kind of go, I'm this little Tron girl from Waikato University. And so it made me realise, hey, you can't learn everything from a textbook. or from lecturers. Like you get a baseline of stuff, but I learned a lot on the go.
Yeah.
Made a lot of mistakes, as anyone would, but learned a lot from them and grew a lot. And then as that kind of eventuated, I realised halfway through the year that I actually wanted to pursue a hockey career. And I was like, no, I think my passion still lies with hockey. I think in terms of the communications, the PR, I think that'll be there in a couple years' time when I'm ready. But I kind of said, hey, mum and dad, actually, I think I'm going to move back.
Yeah, wow.
And they were like, no, you just left. You just left the house.
We empty nested now.
Yeah. They're like, you sure?
Yeah.
But I just felt like I wasn't done with hockey, and I didn't have my best year that year with work as well. And I just kind of went, okay, my dream is to hopefully play for New Zealand one day, and let's just see if I can make that happen.
Yeah.
So I went home and did some part-time work here and there. Shout out to Dad from Crane's Investment Partners for giving me the crappy admin no one wants to do, but we got it done.
Yeah, love
got it done with a smile. Did bits and pieces there, and then ended up actually travelling overseas to play hockey.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so just decided, okay, I need a little bit more. I need to go love the game a bit more. Went over to England and played there for a company, a hockey team, Bowden Hightown.
Cool.
From a friend who'd played there previously and come from England. Mentioned best place to go, awesome people, you'll love it.
Cool.
You've no pressure.
Did you love it?
Loved it.
Cool.
Best thing I've ever done.
Wow.
Freezing. Absolutely freezing. I looked like an international player with gloves on in the game. That was stood out.
They're like, she's from New Zealand.
Yeah, like never felt the cold. And it was great, and it was the best experience, and it was a way of learning how to be independent in another way. I went over with another friend, which I was really lucky, and he played for the men's team, and said to my wasn't my husband at the time, but I said to him, sorry, you're staying here. I need to do this for me. I need to learn some skills. I need to venture out and new challenges. Yeah. And had an awesome time, came back a few kgs heavier like everyone does when they do like a big OE. And somehow had a really good performance when I came back and made the New Zealand side and had my debut.
Wow.
So it was a really cool experience to tick off on my achievements for dreams. And it was actually in Auckland and broadcasted on Sky, so my granddad could watch, which was really cool.
Sweet.
But yeah, that was definitely a special experience, and one of those things where I kind of went, hey, I actually put my time and attention into this. Yeah. And I got there in the end, which was awesome.
Yeah. What was it like walking out into the turf? Like, was that a huge moment for you?
It was. I think because you know that your parents are there, you know, my brother, my family, and Connor was there, my best friends were there, like, and you spend a lot of time running. Yeah. Pretty much a lot of time running, working out. And it does consume you a lot in many ways and takes you away from that time with family. And it's a commitment that you have to be willing to make, but it just was the best feeling, walking on that field, wearing the black singlet for the first time, singing the national anthem. Thankfully, I think I had Rose Cadell next to me, and she's a great singer. So she kept us all in tune at the time.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it was a bit of a relief at the same time, because you kind of go, oh, okay, it's all been worth it. Yeah, wow. And there was no pressure on that series, which was awesome. Playing Australia, nothing better. Yeah. We got thrashed the first game, I think. But we came back in the end, which was cool. Wow. But yeah, it's like a experience you can't really describe.
Totally. Good on you for making that call, you know, way back in the early part of your career when you were working for that PR agency and events, to go, actually, my gut saying I should give this a good go in this time of life, right? I'm sure you'd never regret that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just with hockey. I started when I was so young at primary school, and I've always loved it, and it was just kind of like, hey, I've given up so much time over the years, and I think I can really do it. Yeah. And that was probably the most important part, was just the confidence in myself to be able to say, no, I am going to quit my job and I want to focus on hockey. And it was nearly like at the time you were a bit embarrassed about it and you didn't want to tell people. But I think my confidence in the background was really what helped get me, of course, as well as like personal trainer and things like that.
The practical parts.
About the coaches, everything like that. Played a huge part, and same with my parents and Connor and everyone in the support, best friends. But I did that for a wee bit. moved up to Auckland here and there and did a bit of travelling, which was awesome, and just awesome bunch of girls involved in hockey. Met some of my best friends playing hockey, and we'll always cherish those memories too. And then it was the next steps was cool. I've moved back to Hamilton. Hockey's not the big thing anymore. What's my next move? And
what was that moment like, and how did that decision come about to go, okay, for now that time is done, or not done, but okay, I'm gonna have a shift? How did you make that decision?
It was hard. It was really so hard. Yeah. So at the time, I actually didn't end up making the squad, and we had a big reflection meeting and everything like that. And there was definitely like a part of me that went, I should just I'll keep going, I'll grind it out, and I'll get better, or I'll do this, or I'll focus on this. And then you go back home and you sit there and you go, well, do I want to do that?
Yeah.
Do I want to take that kind of spot? Do I want to travel this much? And unfortunately at the time, hockey wasn't that well paid either. So you're sacrificing a lot and a lot of time away from people. And so I went back and I moved back to Hamilton and had a big think about it. And I did go in like panic mode. And I remember going into a temp job, I think in customer service at Christmas time. Worst decision of my life, I think. The most stressful time of my life. And then was still trying to train as if I was an elite athlete, but for no reason in a way. So it was like I couldn't, I just went in panic mode, was trying to do everything. I was getting sick at the same time because I was running myself down for no reason. And that's when I kind of was just like, this isn't right. I'm not happy. I need to talk to people. Opened up to my husband, and just talked about my struggles and how I was. And he knew something wasn't right. But just kept the conversations going, opened up to my parents, to my brother, and just got that kind of it'll be okay vibe, like something will happen, just be confident, you just need to take a breather, like quit the customer service job, it's okay.
Gotta go,
And I'm like, man, I can't hold a job for very long, can I? Just take the summer, have a breather, and then come in fresh the next year. And that's where eventually be a Likeable Lab, but we started with Lead Social. And my friend Steve Carpenter owned Lead Social at the time, and it was a social media company. And I was just kind of literally Googling, oh my goodness, what's communications PR? Like, let's give this a crack again. It's time. I'm ready for it. And I just sent him a message. He's like, let's catch up. And I think at the time I might have been doing some random part-time work for Photo Life, taking photos.
Nice. Like passport photos and stuff?
Like school, like portrait photos for the IDs.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Got one of those through, got that job through my best friend Lydia from Auckland, and it was just, something that tides you over. And just something completely random and different. And met with Steve and just said, hey, look, I did this degree at university. Instagram was just coming in. Like, what I've learned, like what I studied actually probably wasn't relevant, but I just said, look, I'll work hard. I'll learn as much as I can. I can talk to people. I'll do my best. And let's figure this out. And he was kind of like, let's go.
Wow.
Let's give it a crack. So back in 2020, after a lovely COVID lockdown once again. We had a stranger come through, Nick McDonald, and I remember him coming through the office, and Alex and I looked at him and we went, hold on, who's this guy? Why is he meeting with Steve? And do what naturally anyone does when they leave the office and start Googling who he is. And we're like, he has his own like social media company over in Tauranga. And we're like, oh my goodness, I wonder if he's looking to buy into the company, like shareholders, buy Steve out,
Clever.
Make our own options up. And then soon enough he had acquired Lead Social.
Wow.
And so at the time you kind of go, I've never been a part of an acquisition before, and trying to maneuver that, I didn't panic about my job. I think I knew naturally Steve wouldn't allow us to all lose, wouldn't allow us to all lose our jobs or anything. And we didn't know Nick at the time, but obviously now you're like, oh my goodness, he would never do such a thing either. And so we knew we were safe, but bringing a new dynamic of Tauranga and Hamilton, and we have got team overseas as well, it was a really big learning curve for a while. But, you know, Nick came in and he actually sat with us all one-on-one and from Lead Social and just said, hey, like, who are you? Cool. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Cool.
Gave you the time of day, which was really nice. And we tried to really shape a team structure as best we could. And it took a really long time. And I think we're definitely like on the right path and on our way there, and we've got it locked down. But we had a bigger team come to life and Likeable Lab, and I went from a junior account manager through to a senior account manager. And feel really lucky for that, and I learned a lot of skills from the likes of Phil, our GM, coming along with the ad side and strategy.
Great.
To make me go to that next step, and then moved into the head of projects and senior account managing role.
Yeah, very cool. And then you obviously you've gelled so well with Nick, right, as now being your leader. And so, what's that relationship like now working with Nick as the head honcho?
yes, the daunting head honcho. No, he's lovely. He's we're really lucky. Like, we've always been really open and honest with each other. I think even from that acquisition from the beginning.
Great.
And I think just by luck, it just worked out that way, and just don't hide anything. And same thing now. It's kind of like you feel like you're talking to your mate.
Yeah. Cool.
And you know, if I've made a mistake, I'll always put my hand and be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Whoops. Or if I can't do something, he'll help me out and he'll take over. And
brilliant.
He's really supportive and really always open to your ideas. And you know, if we disagree with each other, which isn't often, pretty good. We'll see how the future goes with the marketing though. We're really good at talking it through and just getting people's opinions and making sure we're happy with the decision and not rushing anything. But he's really good with understanding relationships and people, you know, life outside of work.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just work all the time. And it just goes to show as well, it's not all about what you study at university. Sometimes it is about the characteristics that you withhold, and I'm really thankful from that with sport.
That's a huge piece to the puzzle. There's definitely a connection between those that have done elite sports or have those elite backgrounds when it comes to like successful business owners or successful business leaders, because they just do the hard mahi. Like they just do the hard work, and they know what it's like to have to work hard and grind and learn quickly. And I'm sure, like, have you found that a lot of the learnings from that time in elite sport has supported you in your leadership journey?
Absolutely. I actually remember reflecting on this a couple of weeks ago with my husband, and we were just saying how grateful we are that we did play sport and our parents did kind of encourage that. But there's just so many characteristics you get through sport that you wouldn't get elsewhere. You know, you learn how to talk to different personalities, you learn how to get the best out of people, you know how to handle things under pressure.
True.
Time management, which being a mum now, not so good at time management. But there's, you know, you get that grit, and even now that I'm starting to kind of get back into exercise again, you kind of sit there and go, man, I feel so lucky that I have that grit still there, and I can tackle away at this, and it's been a big game changer for me. And I think as well at the same time though, when I first started, we know how to grind and we know how to do mahi, but I think I grinded a bit too hard at work. And
interesting. With Lead Social, like with that first
Lead Social, Likeable Lab, either of the two, it was kind of like, it was just like I was working nonstop, and I was working early in the hours, and you kind of go, what am I doing? But it just felt like I had to do it, and I just wanted to get places and wanted to get better at my job, but I actually learned I wasn't being efficient.
When did that realisation come along for you?
When my boss said that I have to have strict email hours.
No more emails at 1 o'clock. No, joking. But
He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, fair enough.
And it took a really long time to actually personally kind of figure that out. And I think it's not till now becoming a mum I've realised I can't do it all anyway. And I have to be smarter with my time and more efficient with my time. And now I look back and I'm like, damn, why did I do that?
What was I doing?
I could have had so much more balance then.
Like I should have made the most of the
time.
Yeah,
totally. And just, it's taken a really long time to kind of get out of that nearly a good, what was seen as a good characteristic, to kind of actually make it the right characteristic. Yeah,
that's a really good point actually. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you, by the way, for explaining all of that. No, that was incredible context and so many learnings that a lot of leaders and businesses, I'm sure, can relate to. Especially those with, like the A-type personality or the like achiever, go-getter. Like, it is hard sometimes to draw the line and to find the balance, of where you put your time. Now, in a completely new season of life, as a new mum too, what does a day in the life of you look like? I'm sure it looks a little bit different to that, but walk us through like a day in the life of Kim.
Goodness me, we won't talk about the tantrum I got this morning. Day in the life has definitely changed. We've got a 10-month-old that's still not quite wanting to sleep through the night because he has been quite sick. So we're still up and at it at all sorts of hours every so often. So you learn a new appreciation of a coffee, that's for sure, and gets you through. But no, we start the day whether he's ready to go at 6 or 6:30. Usually it's before 6. Pretty much tending to little Kanoa, getting him sorted. My husband works in civil, so in the digger, so he's off quite early in the mornings. So leaves maybe around 6:30, just after 6:30. Wow. So if we're lucky, sometimes he gets him for maybe 10 minutes before he leaves for work. And maybe I can quickly get changed if I'm lucky enough, or I'm just quickly trying to get breakfast all sorted and ready to go.
Legend.
But yeah, basically that first start of the day is when he's well and he's going to daycare, is tending to Kanoa and sorting him out, and then getting his food sorted for daycare and take him along, drop him off. And then actually something new that I've implemented in the last few weeks, not when he was sick just then, is that I actually am trying to be a lot better at having me time.
Cool.
And I learnt that I'm really good at filling other people's cups and sorting out my son, but I wasn't being good at filling my own cup. And I could tell it was starting to affect me, and there was just something missing. So I actually go to the gym.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I go back to Body Fit now at Ham East, and there's like a little window there, maybe an hour that I get that I'll try and do either emails with Likeable, or I'll do my husband's business, our business, try and sort out our GST returns or his emails or his invoices, anything like that. Just have some time there. Sometimes I do that now at my brother's house, which is down the road, which is great.
Fun.
Might utilise his coffee machine next time.
Yeah, love it.
And then, do the gym, have a shower, then get straight into work. There's a few different dynamics as I am breastfeeding.
Yes. Yeah.
So I kind of turn up and then I say goodbye and hide away in a room for a bit, and on my laptop, just cranking out, catching up, and meetings galore. I have a team that work on the Likeable Lab marketing with me.
Great.
Content producer, ad specialist, work closely with head of creative when I can, and as well as, of course, our head honcho, Nick, very involved. And so at the moment we're doing some really exciting stuff. We've been going offline instead, and we were on some billboards.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's cool. At the Mount.
So good, yeah. Mount Tauranga and hopefully in Hamilton started next week, and then we're starting live on the radio today.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
some of the older school methods are looking back, eh?
Yeah. We kind of just realised that we can do social. Yeah. We're doing that, but we want to try something new. Yeah. And now's the time to do it. Offline is actually growing again, and it's becoming more popular, and we just thought, hey, it's worth a chance.
Yeah.
Let's actually see if it's worth it and give it a go.
Guys.
Yeah. And it was all done quite quickly, and as in any fashion, as in digital marketing, everything's quite tight to turn around, but the team were amazing. Team did it, smashed it out of the park.
Great.
And we're really excited to see how that goes. But basically that little chunk of the day till about 11 till 4:30, I'm trying to really focus in on Likeable, get my meetings in, get admin done, and then I am out of there, go pick my son up from daycare.
Yeah, awesome.
Bring him home, dinner time for him, wait for Connor to come home, maybe give him bath time, who knows. And then he's down, who knows, 7:30, and then that's the time where we kind of get to sit there and either eat our dinner or look at Con's business again, or it might be that I'm trying to get back to a couple of Slack messages from the team, but again, try to get that balance where we kind of go, okay, no, now it's time to just sit on the couch,
Yeah.
have a hot chockey.
Yeah, blob. Yeah, totally.
Watch a Netflix series of some sort. Yeah.
Wow. What a packed day.
It goes fast.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And you're obviously passionate about what you do, right?
Yeah,
In terms of your work.
Yeah, very passionate. I think a really big part of my passion with Likeable Lab is the team.
Yeah.
And I've made that known for a really long time, but I just really enjoy my work colleagues, and, you know, they make it worth it when you walk in the door and they've just, you know, they've got smiles on their face, they're happy to see you, but it makes you motivated to work for them as well. And everyone has their own special skills. Yeah. And not everyone's the same, and I really like that. Yeah. It's kind of like a hockey team, right? Like,
yeah, true.
No one's got the same skills, no one's got the same personality, but you just all make it work and you work together.
Totally. Yeah, no, it makes so much sense. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. I would be keen to know, what is something you would have given yourself a bit of a heads up on at the start of your career, knowing what you know now?
Like, probably just back to what I said before. You don't actually have to work yourself to the ground to get results. You can have a balanced life. It's just being more efficient with your time. It's going to work out. You don't always have to have a plan. You can have curveballs. But as long as you are passionate about something, that's all you can ask for. And hopefully the good will come. Yeah,
brilliant. I love it. And you said what's attracted you to Likeable Lab is the people, right? And what's kept you there is definitely the people too. I would, keen to hear a bit about how the team have adapted to the changes within the marketing and media industry. What, since maybe you started, has changed the most?
Oh, yeah, you know, TikTok's come in. Whew.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That came in hot.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, I think it's been a really interesting last few years, especially with COVID. COVID practically forced a lot of business to need to come online. So it was great for us. Sorry for other businesses.
So true though.
But it was a really good opportunity for us. And at the time, that's when we would lead social, and we were known for more of our content creation as opposed to kind of that ad side or strategy.
Yes, yeah.
But we're also working for like supermarkets who were hectic, and they had to put all of their communications out on socials.
Yeah.
And so at that time, you probably saw Facebook as more of the primary platform. Yeah. Whereas now today, there is a variety of platforms that benefit different clients, different businesses, industries. And what Likeable's really good at is understanding our clients, and we're really good at building our relationships with them, but it's just understanding, cool, there's a new platform that's come in. Is this actually going to benefit the client? Yeah. Is it worth their time? Actually, no, I think it's better that you focus more on Google Ads or on your Pinterest or Instagram, whatever it might be. So we don't throw every single service or every new thing to a client. It's just going, okay, we've seen this come out, let's trial it. Yeah. Great news now that I'm in my role is that now we can most of the time trial it for us. Yeah. And see what it's like. Yeah. But that's probably how we keep up with it, is that we recognize something's come out, but it's just kind of understanding the platform. What purpose does it have for what clients or what industries? Yeah. Who would be willing to trial it? And then we're just really good at shifting that direction, shifting tact if that's something that they want to pursue, or we think, actually, let's change your strategy up. Let's move in this direction here.
Which is so important, because it would be easy to be like, every business needs to be on every platform and needs to do every service that we offer. And it's like, well, long term, the client's probably going to be like, this is not right for me, and too much money or whatever. So it's such a great way to do it, to do business, is to really care about the people you're working with.
Absolutely. And like at the end of the day, like most businesses' goals are ROI. They want to see return on investment, and we're not going to pitch every single service because we probably know they're not going to get an ROI there. Yeah, exactly. And we've built that kind of relationship to have those conversations as well, to go, hey, actually, we really think you should try this, or actually, let's move away from this platform and actually divert our time into this instead. Yeah. And because of that relationship, the client's usually really willing, and we see a really good result. Yeah, but that's great. The great thing with digital is that it's not really going out anytime soon.
No,
it's just going to keep growing, and it's just keeping ahead of the game. But just again, it's all about the client really at the end of the day too.
Yeah, that's great. That's really cool. I want to talk a little bit about the new change of life, becoming a mum. And I think there might be some listeners to this podcast that may be interested in that time of life as a leader. So do you have any advice for young female leaders in this phase or thinking about navigating this phase of life? What would you tell your past self about the juggle that you know now?
Yeah, gosh, it is a juggle. Always learning about the juggle, and it's never one shoes fit all, like one size fits all. And I'm trialing so many different things, even with work and my hours, just to figure out what is it that works. But if I've learned anything within the last 10 months, or probably last 3 or so months with being back at work, is that it's really important to have me time. And wherever you get in the day, just cherish it and just do it. It can even be as simple as just having a coffee.
Yeah.
At your local cafe, or it might even just be in the comfort of your own home in some silence.
Yeah,
but
great.
Something that you actually, you enjoy, just that short moment. And like I said, for me, it's just going to the gym again. And that's my me time. And it actually just gives me that energy and that kind of kick in my step to get through what kind of seems to be a bit of a hectic, busy day.
Great advice.
And then just be open-minded. I've learnt things never go to plan. I always have my ideal. I'm like, this is how my day's going to go, and it never quite gets there. And so just be open-minded and not be too tough on yourself, because you're doing the best you can. Like, it's a whole other job in itself.
Yeah, so true.
So you've just got to be kind. And hopefully you've got colleagues that are understanding and a boss that's understanding. I'm really grateful I have that kind of support system there, and you just do the best you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, real advice. That's great. And I love the thought, be kind to yourself as well, because you are doing such an amazing job. But it is like 2 jobs that you're juggling. So that's very important. So cool that you came back from mat leave into a new role, into the marketing manager. What did that journey look like, and how have you found taking on that new role?
Yeah, so before I left for mat leave, I was in 2 roles. So I was in a head of projects role, which I had a cool team, had a few direct reports, our videographers and our website guy at the time, and then was also a senior account manager. So I was still working on clients, the likes of Tuatahi First Fibre, and Soul Fresh, who do like low bros.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah. One of our members, Maddie's got them now, and she's awesome. She's crushing it. It's so cool. And that was very external. So I had a lot of projects going on, campaigns with our projects team, and then I had my own clients that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And so sitting in mat leave, I was like, mum life's, this is cool. I love this. And then, old cost of living comes in, and you realise you can't enjoy it for that much longer as much as you'd like. And so started conversations with Nick, and we've always been very open and honest with each other. And
great.
I kind of said, hey, look, I just don't think I can come back into that same role, because I can't have clients relying on me to do things so quickly. Yeah. And I don't want to let them down. And same as, if we had projects team, if I had direct reports, I just might not be there when I need to be, how I used to. So I just said it wouldn't be fair for them or for me to have that pressure. So we kind of just sat there and went, okay, what are the options here?
Great.
And at the time they were still restructuring and just figuring out roles. And there was always we kind of have this like future plan that we always go through in the presentation. There was always a dream to have our own like marketing team and designated sales and marketing. And we kind of saw that as an opportunity. Okay, this is actually this is internal. It's dealing with Nick, it's dealing with Alex, our head of creative. It's on me.
Yeah, totally.
I'll have, I've got a few people that I work with on the content side of things, but it was more of a part-time role. It was flexible.
Yeah, great.
And we just thought, sitting there, actually, we think this is going to be the right opportunity for us now. We're in a position where Likeable was ready to have someone finally dedicated
Brilliant.
To their own marketing. And I feel really fortunate they took that chance on me, because my background was senior account managing and head of projects. Hasn't really been marketing in terms of online and offline. So it made me really excited, because I was like, this is a whole new challenge. This is a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like catch up at the moment. It's kind of going, okay, where have we started? Where did we get with this? Where do we want to go? What do the budgets look like? All of these factors. What's our capacity from our team like? Because they're still working on the clients.
Yeah, of course.
And then I'm hoping once we get a bit of a roll on, it's us kind of going, this is what the year looks like. Strategically, we're going to do this here, here, and here. And that's where my learning will come and my growth will come. But at the moment, it's kind of like we just kind of need to check some boxes and get things in a comfortable place. And then get Nick involved with me a bit more, get him off the clients, and he runs the sales side of things, and we kind of come together and make this bit of a team. And yeah, I think it is super exciting. Marketing is fast paced, so it's trying to keep on my game. And I call it TikTok research, but I'm there at 9 o'clock at night scrolling. But unfortunately, I'm getting all the mum TikToks. But I think it's a really cool opportunity as well, because we're new to this. We're nearly new into our own space of marketing, but if we don't do anything, we're not going to learn. Yeah. So if we make mistakes, it's going to hurt, but at least we know. Yeah, totally. And I hadn't actually thought about that dynamic. You're creating content and doing strategy for your clients, but actually having that person that heads it up for the business itself is huge. And I'm sure the learnings that you gather and the things that you do, the campaigns you do, will actually support like the insight that the company now has to then give the clients, right? So it kind of works hands in hand. So that's really interesting. Yeah. Cool to hear. I love that. Sounds like a really great sort of adjustment that you've come back into. I'd love to hear a little bit about the program that you did at the Icehouse, the Emerging Leaders Programme. How did you find the course, and did you get any takeaways from it? We actually did it at a really interesting time. We had a few lockdowns. Just a few. Again. Which made it quite difficult to get a flow and to really take it all in. You were doing quite a few online instead of in person, and it does really make a difference. Yeah, for sure. But obviously we had to do what we had to do. We all either had to buy into it though online or none at all. Yeah. And so we kept it going, and again, it was an interesting time with Likeable, because that's when we were still figuring out our structure within the company and where people sit. And I think I might have moved through 2 different titles or roles while doing the course. To be fair, the course was a lot longer because of COVID. Yes. But I remember saying to Nick, I went, this course is really good. Like, I'm learning a really good baseline of things. I don't think it's for my role right now, but I think in time I'm really going to be able to utilize this. Great. So it was just kind of being aware, like, yep, cool, I probably won't be able to use this kind of topic just yet, but I know I'm probably going to use this in a couple years' time, in the future. Or this is something I could actually pass on to someone else. And I think it was interesting because you learn about your own personality and your own style and how that could complement someone else's, or how can you talk to someone that's actually completely opposite, and how to handle those situations. But I think the best thing is just hearing stories from the other leaders that are involved, and hearing what they're going through is actually quite similar to what you're going through. And we actually, I think I was the only one with a marketing, the marketing industry. I think we had a few in the technology side, or I'm trying to remember, retail side as well. But in terms of proper marketing, I was the only one. That was quite hard. True. Because there was some things you would relate to, and then some things you're like, ours is very niche. Not quite. Totally. So it was a really good course to take what you wanted from it. And the facilitator at the time, Kim Hill. Yes, she's awesome. Amazing. She was awesome, and Maurice was there as well. And you just you could just tap into that resource when you needed it. But it was an awesome course. It was just something I knew going into it. With my roles changing, there was just different things I was grabbing. And taking what I could, and then I kind of would go, okay, I'll use this stuff, but probably not right now. That's really cool insight that you could see that and go, cool, I'm going to park that in the back of my mind and probably pull it up when I need it for different roles as your career progresses in future. Definitely. And I remember something coming up around budgets and understanding that better. And I remember saying to Nick, hey, I found this super interesting. I know it's not part of my role or anything to do with it, but maybe in the future that's something we could tap into later. Awesome. So just started those conversations as well. And as a business owner, I'm sure he's going, great. Because I always think that there are so much
so many elements of a business that like employees won't understand. Like I'm thinking from my perspective as well in terms of budgets and making it all work. And I think the more employees to wrap their head around that, it's actually so helpful, because even like with spend, it's like, okay, well that actually we've only got this amount, and so I think it's really helpful for the business owner as well.
I haven't got there yet. I'm not great with numbers, but
same.
maybe soon enough I will. But obviously I get my own budget now, so it's just kind of like baby steps. But I remember at the time it was something that definitely interested me, because I knew it would help benefit the business as well.
For sure. Yeah, that's really interesting. Has there been anything else in a wider sense? Obviously the elite sport background, doing this course. Has there been anything else that's supported your leadership journey or career journey?
I think just being really fortunate and lucky to have had leadership roles even through school.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like in sport as well, the captaincy, it's just that different kind of role that you have to play. And I've always been someone that actions speak louder than words, and that's just my style. And so it's easy enough to do that on a hockey field, but I think kind of bringing that into work, it is, again, that's what I saw as I need to work really hard and grind.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't the answer to correlate that into work. But naturally, with school, you don't have sport with that leadership role. So again, it was when I was obviously younger and you're dealing with a lot of girls.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of like, how can I make myself relatable to these girls? How do I talk to year 9s versus year 13s? What is important for... I was house leader, I think. What's important for our house right now? What are our focuses? Anything like that. But I've also just had awesome support around me and awesome leaders in a range of things, whether that's in the work side business or whether it's in sporting fields. Some of my best friends are incredible leaders within their own industries as such. So I think just my support network.
That's really cool.
I feel very fortunate to have got such a good network there, and can connect with people when I really need to as well. Yeah,
fantastic. Oh, honestly, like leadership in school is so valuable. Like when you think back about all the learning that can come with being house captain or leader or looking after a team, it's stuff that you can just bring into the real world. So completely relate.
Gives you a bit more perspective as well, and to know that other things are going on for other people.
True.
Sometimes it's not just about winning.
So true. So true. What excites you about your role as marketing manager and the future of Likeable Lab? It's a big one.
It is a big one. We've got such an awesome management team at Likeable Lab, and the team within that, like I said before, everyone's got so many cool skills and there's so much talent in there that it's just kind of ready to learn and adapt and kind of upskill constantly.
Cool.
But I think with this new marketing manager role, I think there's such an awesome opportunity to finally promote ourselves. And we did that epic rebrand, and we stand out like no tomorrow, making cool shit for the internet, making businesses thrive online, and that's exactly what we want to do at the end of the day. We just want to help businesses thrive online, because we know that helps them, that helps business owners,
big time.
Actually really helping people within New Zealand and internationally. But we're just in a brand new space of our own, and it's kind of going, cool, where do we want to take this? Where are we going to best find the right people? Who are we going to connect with? I think it's just like we've got an open door. And I think that's the most exciting part, and the team just keeps growing and just keeps getting better and better and works together so well. I'm excited. It's the best feeling watching your teammates do some cool shit.
Oh, it's so cool.
I hope I can swear on here.
You do you. One, the rebrand. Oh, so good. I said that to Nick too, and when I recorded a podcast with him, but it's so punchy. It's really cut through a lot of the noise in the industry, I reckon. And I've even prepping for this podcast, I watched your guys, like, if you go on the careers page or the team page or whatever, like your guys' videos around what it's like working there, and there's definitely a strong culture at Likeable Lab, which really shines. So it's cool to hear even from this recording that a lot of the highlights from you, the things that you really enjoy, is the team element and just doing really cool stuff together. I think that's amazing. So
Yeah, it's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing your story. There's so many key themes in here, I think, for listeners, you know, like a whole stepping into a new season of parenthood, you know, is a huge part, whether you're the mum or the dad or whatever. It's that's a big learning from this chat. So thank you for your practical thoughts on that.
No worries.
But also the connection between elite sport and leadership is huge. The steps you took to just like, sorry, I'm like recapping your life to you.
Okay. I'm like, what did I do? How did I sound?
But the feeling the fear and doing it anyway, you know, I love that line. It's something I try to live by, but making those big decisions to follow your passions, it's all so inspiring. So thank you for sharing your story on the Icehouse podcast.
No worries. Thanks for having me.